What's going on, guys? It's J-Ho back with more Destiny 2, and in this video we're gonna go over how to get exotics currently in the game. So this video might cater more toward newer players or returning players that haven't played in a while and you came back for the Witch Queen or the new expansion. But we're gonna go over all the ways you can get exotics. So if I did miss any though, you can leave a comment down below and I'll try to add it to like the description of the video. But we're gonna try to go over all the different ways you can get exotics currently in the game. So lots to get through, so let's get straight into it. First of all, the first method for getting easy exotics is your season pass. So the season pass, whether you're on the free version or the paid version of it, you can get some easy exotics. All you have to do is level up your season pass, and you can do so just by playing the game. So over time, just by playing the game, doing bounties, getting XP from various activities, you will earn progress on your season pass. And so whether you're on the free one or the paid one, you can get a chance at some exotic engrams once you get to certain levels on your season pass. So that is one of the easiest ways you can get exotics currently in Destiny 2. Moving on to the next main one, we got Xur. So Xur is an exotic vendor. He shows up in a random location on Fridays, and he leaves at the weekly reset on Tuesdays. So depending on where you are in the world, what time zone you're in, it might be slightly different for you, so keep that in mind as well. But generally speaking, he is there on the weekends. So what Xur does is every weekend he brings with him a random few exotics, usually one weapon and then 3 armor pieces, one for each class in the game. And then you also can buy an exotic engram from him, and it tries to focus new exotics that you don't already own. He also just added 2 more exotic weapons to his inventory with Hawkmoon and Deadman's Tail. And these are 2 of the few exotics in the game that can get random rolls on it. So every week he'll have a different roll on these 2. And then on top of that, he also offers an exotic quest called Xenology, and this allows you to get exotic ciphers. So I'll get more in depth on that when we get to another way you can get exotics. But this is basically Xur, another easy way you can get exotics. He sells random exotics every weekend, and you can go and buy them from him for legendary shards. So pretty simple, but that is another easy way you can get exotics in the game. And then moving on to another easy way you can get exotics, we have the Monument to Lost Light kiosk or vendor in the tower. This one is located next to your vault in the main courtyard area of the tower. So basically you just head over there, and this is where all the older exotics that came out in previous years, previous expansions or seasons, they all go to this kiosk if they were tied to a quest that is not available anymore in the game. So there are a lot now because there's been many exotics over 4 years of Destiny 2 so far. So all you need to do for these exotics is you just have to have enough of the currency that it's asking for in order to buy it from the kiosk. So most of these are going to cost Glimmer. They're going to cost 1 random planetary material. And then you're also going to need 1 exotic cipher and 1 ascendant shard. So those 2 are probably the 2 materials that are going to be a little bit more harder to get for most people, especially if you're newer to the game. But I'll break down how you can get some of those really quickly. So for the exotic cipher, that is what you get for the Xenology quest from Xur. So that Xur quest that he offers every week, you can get that quest, and all you gotta do is just play activities like Crucible, Strikes, Gambit, and eventually you'll complete that quest and he'll reward you with 1 exotic cipher. You can also get an exotic cipher from your season pass. I believe there only is 1 though, but that is another way you can get an exotic cipher. And so each of these exotics will cost you 1 exotic cipher. And then as for the ascendant shards, those come from a lot of end game activities. So stuff like high level Nightfalls will give you ascendant shards. Going flawless in Trials of Osiris can reward you with ascendant shards, stuff like that. You also can buy ascendant shards now from Master Raoul at the tower as well, but it is a little bit more on the expensive side. So if you can earn them by playing endgame stuff like Nightfalls and stuff like that, then it's definitely more beneficial. I believe the master version of the newest dungeon also can reward you with some ascendant shards and stuff like that. So any of those endgame stuff is a good source of getting ascendant shards. But those are the main things you need in order to buy some of the exotics from this kiosk. And so because these currencies may be a little bit harder to obtain, I'll give you guys a couple quick recommendations on which exotics you may want to look at first. So one good exotic you can pick up is the Sleeper Simulant from year 1. It is a really good high damage weapon. It's a power weapon, and it's very good for dealing damage to like bosses and stuff. So that is one you could keep in mind. And then also the Wither Horde is a really good exotic. It's a grenade launcher that can be used in multiple different ways. You can shoot it at the floor and it creates like a pool that does area of effect damage on multiple targets in the pool. You also can shoot it at a single enemy and it does damage over time to them as well. So very versatile weapon, but those are some 2 quick exotics that you can keep in mind and go for. I think they're pretty good in a bunch of different content. And so moving on, another way you can get exotics is through high difficulty Nightfalls. So speaking about exotics earlier, that was one of the ways you can get those Ascendant Shards, which you need to buy some of the exotics in that kiosk. But not only can you get Ascendant Shards from a high level Nightfalls, you can also get exotics straight up as well. So when you get into like the master difficulty Nightfalls or even the Grandmasters, when that comes out later on in the season, you will get higher chances of getting exotics. It's a good way to farm exotics, especially when the Nightfall is an easier one in the week and you can do them really quickly. You definitely can get a good exotic farm going on those high difficulty Nightfalls. And then moving on, we have the Legend and Master Lost sectors. So this is another good way to farm exotics, specifically exotic armor. So every day a new lost sector is going to be the Legend or Master Lost sector. And if you do it solo, you can definitely get some good exotics out of it. So depending on what day it is, it will tell you exactly what type of exotic you can get. So it rotates daily between helmets, gauntlets, boots, and chest pieces. And so you can kind of target farm a little bit more specifically and try to get certain exotics you want on specific characters. All you need to do is clear it by yourself on Legend or Master. Also, you want to target some of the easier ones. So they do rotate between different lost sectors. There's a bunch on various different planets. So keep a lookout for certain lost sectors that might be easier. And then you can go in and farm some exotics for specific pieces that you want. And then moving on to the next way you can get exotics is through exotic quests. So these ones are more tied to some of the newer content in the game. So whenever there's a new expansion or a new season, we usually get some new exotic quests along with it. So for exotic quests, you just need to follow the different objectives within each step of the exotic quest itself. And ultimately, in the end, once you complete all these steps, you will get rewarded with the specific exotic for that quest. And then moving on to another way you can get exotics, we have the vendors. So various vendors have gotten overhauls in past seasons, and now they have reputation rewards. So if you inspect any of the vendors, they'll have the top row of reputation rewards. So on your very first reset of the season, you should only see Ascendant Shard as the final reward. But after you complete one reset on any of the vendors, it will be an exotic engram at the very end of the reputation rewards. So technically you would have to reset 2 times in order to get an exotic, and then every reset after that will be an exotic rewarded to you. And this applies to all the vendors that have this reputation reward layout now. So I believe Shaxx has it, Zavala has it now, the Gunsmith newly has it now, and the Drifter also has it. I think Same 14 has it as well. So any of these guys that have the reputation rewards, they will give you an exotic engram after your first reset. And then moving on to the next way to get exotics, we're going to go into the raid exclusive exotics. So there are some exotic weapons in the game that only come from playing raids. And these are one of the in-game activities, the 6-man activities. So some of them are random drops from the final boss in their specific raid. So for example, like 1000 Voices was a random drop from Riven, which was the final boss in the Last Wish raid. So exotics like this come from the raid, and you just gotta farm them and farm the final boss to eventually get these exotics. I believe the new raid is probably gonna have one as well, so keep that in mind for the Witch Queen raid. And then the last main way you can get exotics currently in the game is a random world drop. So this one is not really farmable. This one just happens just by playing the game. But occasionally when you complete an activity, you can get a random exotic drop at the end. Or if you kill any enemy, you can also get a random exotic to drop that way as well. This is not really a super common or reliable way to get exotics, but it can happen just by playing the game. So this is another way that you can get exotics as well. But basically that's about it. We covered all the main ways you can get exotics. If I did miss one, like I said earlier, you can let me know in the comments down below and I'll try to add it in the description box. But thank you guys for watching. As always, if you enjoyed the video or you learned something new, leave a like on it. It definitely helps me out a lot. Thank you guys for watching once again, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace!